Hi, how would you like to get paid what you're worth each and every time? You know, it used to be in real estate that you had an average 6-7% commission that was split evenly in the MLS. And it was pretty predictable how much money you would make as a real estate agent when you were a listing agent. You had a certain marketing plan for a rate. And when you are working as a buyer agent, you could pretty much count on that in the MLS or working with builders, a certain compensation is paid, but that is no longer true. When you look at MLS co-broke compensation today, rates are beginning to drop. We're now at 2.5%, 2%, some companies offering 1.5%. Many major builders are now offering only 1% compensation to real estate agents. So how can you make sure that you get paid what you're worth and what you need to get paid based on the services and marketing plan that you're providing? The answer is simple, of course. With a listing agreement, you have a predetermined compensation. You decide what you need to be paid in order to perform the job. On the buyer side, a lot of agents are not aware that you can utilize an exclusive buyer agency agreement to achieve the same thing. And a buyer agency agreement doesn't mean that a buyer has to be locked in for life. You can have a buyer agency agreement that has a cancellation provision. You know, you might put in there, buyer may cancel this agreement at any time by giving 7-day written notice. Of course, any properties that you bring to the buyer's attention is covered by the agreement. And the advantage of a buyer agency agreement is that you can predetermine what your compensation is going to be. So let's say if you need to get paid 3.5% in order to work effectively with buyers and donate your time to the job, so to speak, then you will get paid 3.5%. If the co-broke compensation is 2%, then the buyer is going to have to cover the difference. And obviously, when your buyer is getting ready to write an offer on a property, you want to let them know, the co-broke commission here is only 2%, which means that you're going to have to pay 1.5% to me at closing. We could ask the seller to cover that. So let's just offer the seller a little bit more money and ask them to cover, 2-3% towards your prepaid and closing costs, which will cover your commission to me. So in reality, when you engineer it properly, it's not going to cost the buyer anything extra. The buyer always has paid for everything. So you can no longer represent to a buyer that your services don't cost anything because the seller's paying for that. There have been some rule changes recently to clarify that. You cannot say that because the truth is the buyer is paying for everything anyhow. The buyer is the only one bringing cash to close. The buyer is paying for the property and the listing agent's commission and the buyer agent's commission because the buyer is paying for everything that's worked within the purchase price, whether they pay cash or they finance it, they're paying for it. So it's really all just a matter of perspective. And as a real estate professional, you cannot afford to play roulette. Today, buyers are in charge with respect to what they want to look at, what they want to purchase. And if you don't have an exclusive buyer agency agreement, then you're going to be at the mercy of what the seller may offer. And you may find very soon that instead of 1%, it might only be 0.5% or $100 in terms of co-broke commission. And what are you going to do then? So take charge, get paid what you're worth. As a buyer agent, utilize an exclusive buyer agency agreement. We hope you found this helpful. My name is Thomas Hyman with Realty Partners.